We have the all-new for 2024 Mathews Lift 33. This is their flagship hunting bow. We're going to be doing a proper field review on this thing today. As always, behind the camera, we have Ryan. He's going to be interjecting throughout, asking me questions about the bow. In the end, I will let you guys know what I think of this bow. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. So I have to mention it, but you guys already know, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, even if you hate it. Helps us out. That's what it's all about. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we did. And let us know if there's another bow you want us to do a field review on. So the first one, we'll start off here, 49-yard shot. I just want to go over, this is the 33-inch axle-to-axle model. They also have a 29.5. I chose to shoot the longer one just because I prefer the longer axle-to-axle bows. They seem to hold a little bit better. It is set at 70 pounds, 28.5-inch draw, and 85% let off. Let's see where I hit. Close enough. It's not bad, but it's not great. So this bow's predecessor is the Phase 4 bow, which that bow was the first bow to bring to market these 4 limbs. So this bow actually has 8 limbs all in total. They have this rubber damper in here, which is supposed to reduce vibration a lot and also make this bow extremely quiet, which is one of the first things that I noticed when I grabbed this bow, other than the fact that it was extremely light. I mean, like it feels almost comparable to a carbon bow. That's how light it feels. I definitely, for me, I prefer a heavier bow. It seems to hold better for me. So if I was to shoot this bow, I would probably throw on a ton of weight just so it felt comfortable for me. But if you're looking in the market for something super light, instead of going for the carbon route, you might want to check out these lifts because they are extremely light. I think the weight on this thing is 4.2 pounds. And I want to say the 29.5 is like 3.99 pounds. So again, for an aluminum bow, crazy light. They did an extreme amount of machining on this riser, as you could tell. They took out a ton of material. They also added this new technology on top here. They thinned out the limbs quite a bit by adding or putting the axle on top of the limb instead of through it. So they were able to save some weight there. This is also a brand new cam system too. So let me shoot this next one here. We got 40 yards. Also, the draw on this bow, probably if you've seen any of our videos before, we did a shoot off with the carbon, like a carbon shoot off bow, or a carbon off, I guess. And the carbon one from Bowtech was by far the best drawing bow. This thing beats it. The draw cycle on this is so smooth. It's easy to draw. It's easy to let down. But yeah, just super impressed with the weight and the draw cycle. You'll have to shoot this thing to actually like feel how smooth the draw cycle is. So on this bow, they completely redesigned the cams, and they have all new mods on here. Now, with these bows, everything is modular specific. So your draw weight, your draw length, and your let off is all going to be determined by one mod. Matthew's idea behind that was to get more efficiency out of each mod. So it's great for the user, but it's kind of a burden on the shop, right? So they're going to have to own, I don't know, 80 different mods in order to cover the whole spectrum. But again, we're just talking about the review. This one's set specifically for me. They call them the switch weight mods. So these mods, all you got to do, there's 2 screws on here. You loosen up, you take out, you put a different mod in there. Super easy to switch out. So if you're in an area or in a shop that has all the mods, you can easily swap between all of them and find the one that you like. I think the cam design on this is what's really allowing the smooth draw cycle. Again, it's far and above anything else that I've shot. So we're gonna shoot this one here, 45 yards. I'm gonna have to split my pins. If you did notice, it has these knobs on here. That's for the stay afield system. So it allows you to use their stay afield bow press when you're out hunting. It's allow you to work on your cables and your strings. So it's good that they still have that feature on there. I just can't get over how smooth it is. It's like this is 70 pounds. It feels like 60. 24 yards here. Just a couple things. It really incorporates their bridge lock technology. So it has that for the sight. As you can see, we're running the bridge lock Excel Mathews sight on this thing. It still has the standard threaded mounting holes for your standard sights. The bridge lock stabilizer here it has, so you have the thumb screw here. Loosen that. You can move this in and out depending on what length of bar you want. It'll really help the more weight you add on there to like fine tune, adjust that. Still has the front threaded insert bushing for your regular stabilizer. Still has the bushing on the back here for your back bar bracket. Mathews does make a back bar bracket that allows you to use the bridge lock. So if you had two bridge lock style bars, you would get that bracket, throw it on there. If not, you can still just run your regular back bar bracket and just bolt it on there and run your bar in the back. So let's get this one shot. Go over the feel. One thing I don't like is the handle. It's very, very narrow and it's rounded. It makes me feel like my hand wants to keep, like my thumb wants to keep getting pushed up against the shelf here, which is causing the bow to want to cant one way. So I'm having to physically give it a lot to go back the other way. It's kind of inconvenient. So that would be a knock that I have. It's a very narrow and rounded grip. I like them more flat on the back because it's easy to get my hand in the same position every single time. Super smooth draw. Zero vibration and shock on the shot. And it's so light right now that when I shoot, it just feels like it rattles a lot.
So you mentioned the bow wants to oscillate on you. Would you recommend running a back bar on it?
Yeah, for my particular shooting style, I would, only because it would help me bias the bow out how I want and make it sit better. I don't know if it's part of the way the grip sits in my hand, that it just naturally wants to make it rotate. But I would definitely run a back bar. For one, it would add a little bit more weight, which I prefer, like I said. And two, I can pitch the bow off to one side, and I can dictate how it sits and how it shoots. I like when the bow shoots, it has a little bit of jump forward in the hand. That's just how I like to shoot. That's how I like to feel. Right now, it feels like the top cam wants to kind of kick over to the right. So definitely run a back bar. Another cool thing that Mathews has, I have to give it to them. They have a lot of cool features on their bows. We already mentioned the bridge lock stuff, the integrate stuff, but also they have this Engage Exo stand right here, which I'm sure you've seen me use it so far. It comes off like this, easy storing, shipping. Put it on right there, fold these forward, and you have yourself a nice little stand. Your cams aren't in the dirt. You could put it anywhere. Meant to shoot with it on too, which is a real plus. They still have, for tuning, they still run the top hat system, which seems to be a little bit behind the curve when it comes to tunability. And all the other guys that are coming out with systems where you don't have to take everything apart, you don't have to pull the axles out to get the top cams out, or to get the top hats out. So that's kind of an inconvenience. I will knock them for that. So far, the grip and the tunability on the cams are the only two negative aspects of this bow. Other than that, though, this bow shoots really good. You'll have to get your release so you can try it.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to try this thing out.
Fling a couple arrows. That'll be at the end. That'll be during the credits. You can watch Ryan shoot this bow. All right, 36 yards.
I haven't heard you mention anything about what you think of the aesthetics. How does it look?
I mean, it's a cool looking bow. You just got to get used to the fact that the riser is basically the entire length of the bow. Bowtech's kind of starting to do that. There's a little issue between Mathews and Bowtech with that. This is one of their new colors that they came out with this year. This is the earth color. It's not a bad color. It's kind of like the coyote. I think that's the color that other people call it, like the tan coyote color. I don't really care, honestly, what the bows look like. I'm more of a function guy than a feature guy. If the bow shoots good and I shoot the bow good, then I like it. But which is another reason why we always harp on the fact that when you go buy a new bow, you're gonna be spending a lot of money. Recommend shooting all the bows, no matter what the shop guys say. They don't want you doing it. It's probably not worth your time. Go somewhere where they allow you to shoot any bow you want to shoot. Do all your research before you go there. But when you go in there and actually shoot, you might come out thinking completely different than what you went in there. So always shoot the bows, because I would have never known that this bow shot like this unless I shot it. And to someone else, this thing might feel horrible. Yeah, and then they have the low pro quiver on it too, right? So you see how tight that is to the bow. It's almost inside the footprint of the limb, which is insane. It's insane how tight that thing is to there. So again, they're really harping on getting everything as center line to the bow as they can, which is why they're doing the bridge lock stuff. They're getting all the things off of the side of the bow, probably reducing the need of having a back bar to offset the weight. See, look, I almost went to go hang it up. I'm so used to hanging bows up. You don't need to with this. They're really streamlining their stuff. I do think where technology is now, they could probably slow down on the innovative stuff and work on the cost saving, because the price of everything is getting kind of ridiculous. Yeah. The price for the bows, the stabilizers, I mean, they are proud of their bridge lock stabilizers, to put it lightly. 20 yards, we have like 3 targets to go. Just want to circle back on the bridge lock technology that they have for their stabilizers. It's really cool technology. The downside of it is that you have to use their bars in order to use that technology, and their bars are extremely expensive. With the cost of everything else already going through the roof, you think they would introduce it a little bit cheaper of a price point in order to get more people to jump on board with it. Myself personally, I wouldn't run them only because of the price. I would still just run the regular front bar quick disconnect in your back bar bracket, and then run matching bars. Some people though, they're completists and they have to have the entire set of everything. So good on you for that. I mean, you're going to be spending a lot of money, which one of the things that does suck about it. But not to say that this bow isn't amazing. All right, so let's go over the strings here. You're going to notice that these strings now on the Speed Knocks say match. They are getting, or they've gotten away from zebra strings and are now, they retooled their whole string making department, and they are now match strings. So they're supposed to be a little bit better, a little bit more consistent than the zebra. Shoot 37 here. But time will tell. I've heard mixed things about zebra strings, so I'm curious to see how these things hold up over time. But they look pretty robust. As far as a draw stop goes on this thing too, I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with how stiff the back wall is. There isn't any sponge to it, especially for it being a cable stop and not a limb stop. It's really rock solid. So that's pretty cool. So it does too, if you notice on the grip, it is Shot Sense compatible, which it's right here on the grip. What that is, it's an app that reads and records everything about your shot. So your hold, how much your pin's moving, what you're doing with the bow level wise. So it's an app that you would have to download. First of all, it's a tool you have to buy. Take the grip off, you insert it in there. It's a little sensor. Download the app. It's a Mathews app. Start shooting with it, and it'll give you a ton of feedback on your shot process. It's kind of like the steady aim. If that's something that you would want to play around with, it's obviously an option. It's just another tool to help you read and reinforce your shot process, and just it's another tool to help you get better. So something that they've also integrated along with every other feature that they have on their bow. Well, it just about wraps up this field review with the Mathews Lift 33. Overall impressions on this bow, pleasantly surprised with how well it shoots, how smooth the draw is, and how little vibration you get after the shot. I would do a little bit of tweaks if it was my equipment. Who knows, it might be in the future. It shoots that good. I would give it an overall score 8.7 out of 10. If you're in the SoCal area, be sure to stop by Willow Creek Archery. They have tons of these on the wall. Ask to shoot them. I think you're going to be just as happy with them as I was today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you on the next one.
All right, as promised, Travis wants me to shoot this bow. So I've never shot this bow, not a single arrow. Make sure your head's on there. All right, 30 yards. First shot ever with the Mathews Lift 33. You guys just saw Travis do his whole deal. See how this thing feels. What's the weight on this?
70.
No way. I gotta shoot it again. It does not feel like a 70-pound bow at all. It feels like it's 55 pounds or something. Yeah, it does not feel like a 70-pound draw weight. Here we go, second shot. Oh my, dude. That is ridiculous. Man. I can see what you're saying about how you don't like how it's so light, because we're used to shooting some heavier bows for sure with stabilizers and stuff on it, front and rear. But this thing is, yeah, it's light. The draw does not feel like 70 pounds at all. It feels, seriously, realistically, it probably feels like 62 pounds or something like that. I've had a bow that was like 62 before, and it feels like that bow.
Quick 1 to 10 rating. Quick.
If I shot this bow more, man, this is tough to give it a rating. It feels so different than any bow that I've shot in the last few years. But dude, this is a solid 9 for me. Like, yeah, I mean, I could 9.5 this if I put the accessories that I really like to kind of weigh it down and make it a little more stable at full draw. But yeah, it's like a 9.5. It could be, but right now it's probably a 9.